Okay, we're going to take you through some Ryogas for the lower body today, which includes, of course, glutes and hamstrings, hip flexors, quads. We've said hamstrings, calves, and feet. So this is good for anyone with tight spots in those areas, but of course also anyone that does running sports, jogging, or lots of codes of football and kicking sports as well: football, soccer, rugby union, AFL, etc. So to get you warmed up, let's do a couple of easy bends, and for warm-ups we might just do 3 to 5 breaths. That's a good way to time how long you're holding, and warm up we move through a little faster. Today, as we go through, we're going to hold each stretch, each position for about 5 breaths. Let's go easy back bend. So belly, hands on the top of the bum and leaning back gently, keeping the belly tight. And good. And then feet at hip width. Going to warm up the hamstrings by bending the knees to get the fingers on the floor, and then just walk the heels up and down to move the hips a little, warm up through those posterior, lower back, hips, hamstrings, and calves and feet. With any of these, if you find that that particular one is helping you, you should probably pause the video and hold that for more like 10 to 15 breaths, even 20 if it's one of your tight spots. Okay, bend the knees and gently up, and moving twist. And good. Okay, we'll just shake those feet out a little bit. I'm going to try a crow pose. So crow pose, take the feet just outside hip width. Try and get the hands down onto the floor and then sink into the hips, keeping the chest up. Elbows are just inside the knees, palms together. If this is too hard, you can keep the hands on the ground. But inhale, trying to lengthen the spine, lifting the chest. Exhale, sink into the hips and heels. Opening up through the hips. Trying to keep good posture through your spine. And good. Don't stand up, just come gently out of there and onto your hands and knees. So we're going to kick back into a down dog. So, and still warming up a little bit through here, just walking into one foot then the other. About 20 steps there. And let's hold that there in a down dog. So try and inhale, lengthen your spine and push your hips back a little. Exhale, sink into your heels, stretching through your feet and calves, maybe hamstrings and lower back. 5 deep breaths, and what you can do with all of your breaths, as you inhale, you try and create a little tension by posturing up, or in this case, pushing your hips back gently. As you exhale, you sink into that stretch. And good, gently down. While we're here, we'll do a little test just to sit onto the heels. So start stretching those knees out. If you can't sit like that, that's about time. That should be a healthy normal, be able to sit on your heels comfortably. All right, then a big step forward onto right foot, and we'll do a low lunge. So inhale, lifting the head and chest. Exhale, sinking into the hips. Couple of different ways you can do this one. If you feel it's better with one hand over the knee, that's fine. I find I get a better stretch by having both hands just inside that front foot. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, sink into the hips. About 5 breaths here today. And good, gently out of there. And the best stretching rule is to stretch your tight spots. So going through a general sequence like this is good. It gives you a checkup, might help you realize where there are a few tight spots. But if you know you've got ongoing tight spots, that's where you should spend more of your time always. So you hold your tight spots for longer. Think of it like tuning a guitar. If the strings are already in tune, you don't need to keep playing with them. And if they're out of tune, you've got to work on it to create good balance and optimal posture and better movement. Okay, so low lunge, right and left. Now we'll come lying down on your tummy, and just to relax the lower back and hips for a sec, I like to roll my hips a little bit there in a happy sphinx. And then we'll come into your quad and thigh stretch. So lying down, you can put your forehead on your right forearm, grab that left foot, and then pulling that heel to the bum. Inhale, pull the heel to the bum. Exhale, relax that hip and thigh into the floor. And if you're pretty good there, a way to extend that, you can sit up onto that elbow, lifting your chest. Exhale, relax into the thigh and hip. And even from this position, you try and sort of ease that left hip into the floor. So inhale, pull the heel to the bum, little tension. Exhale, relax that hip and thigh into the floor. And gently down. So all of these stretches, you want to take it to the point of stretch, but you shouldn't feel like you're straining to be there. So forward on the forearm if you like, or if you can, sitting up a little. Inhale, pull the heel to the bum. Exhale, relax hip and thigh into the floor. Stretching through the quad and hip flexor on that right side now. Inhale, a little tension. Exhale, relaxation. If it's a tight spot, you press pause and do 10 more breaths. And good, gently up. Now, we're going to go for a little Achilles and plantar fascia stretch. So I'll just show you this one from side on. We're going to bring your left foot so that it's a few inches behind your right knee and that heel is raised off the floor. Then we take this left hand over onto the right thigh and we just stay here. We inhale and lean gently into the forefoot of the left foot, and exhale, try and sink into the heel, and you should feel a nice gentle stretch through the plantar fascia, through the arch of the foot, or around the heel through the Achilles, maybe up into the calf as well on that left foot. You can inhale and make a little tension by pulling on that left hand, sort of hugging those knees a little. Exhale, sink into that heel, relax through the foot and heel and calf. If you are having any plantar fasciitis, doing some gentle stretches like this can be very helpful. And good, that's about 5 breaths on this side. Show you that one from the other side. So have that foot a few inches behind the knee. You can play with that a little. If you want to make it a little harder, you can have that foot back slightly, or if you need it a little easier, have that foot further in front. But that heel's got to be slightly raised. So now inhale, sitting into the forefoot on the right foot. Exhale, trying to relax into the heel, stretch through the plantar fascia, through the arch of the foot, through the heel, through the calf. Inhale, hug those knees gently. Exhale, relax into that stretch. So quite often I'll say you should be inhaling and extending the spine, or hugging the knees in this case. But those movements should be invisible, just really subtle movements, not pushing and pulling, just sinking into these positions, sinking into the stretch. And good, gently out of there. Now we're going to come through and warm up the hips with some crossed leg forward fold. So So both legs are crossed over, and you can just grab your elbows or grab your feet and try and fold forward. Okay, just show you that one from side on. Inhaling, really gentle tension. You can pull on your fingertips, but again, very subtle movement, not even moving. Just inhale and you'll naturally feel a bit of tension come on there. Exhale, relax forward, let your head fold. And whenever we're doing forward bends or folds, you always want to be conscious of your lower spine. You don't want to push that lower spine too far, or we could hurt yourself there. And if you do have any of your lower spinal problems, a good way to do your forward bends is to always try and maintain a nice long spine. So you can still do this sort of position and stretch, but you just keep your spine more upright. Instead of folding, have your spine nice and long, and you can try and sink into that stretch. And good, gently up. From here, we're going to just do a little right twist. So right hand goes behind the back, inhale, lengthen the spine, exhale, sink into that twist. Twist from the belly and the shoulder. And gentle with the neck. We're looking over the shoulder, but gentle with those neck muscles and the cervical spinal. Good, coming around for a left twist. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, relax into the twist. And good, going to come gently out of there. It's a good idea to have a nice soft pad for your knee for these ones. But we're going to try a low lunge with a twist. So put the right foot forward, keep the spine nice and long. We'll try and turn that right hand back. So right foot forward, right hand back. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, try and sink into the hips a little. Okay, good. As we come out of there, I want you to slip that right foot forward, and we're just going to go into a forward bend towards that right foot. So have that right leg out straight with a slight knee bend. You can inhale and gently pull the hips back, and exhale, try and let that head fall along that shin. Good. Now we're going to keep that position and try and slip that left leg back. So getting into we're almost going for a front to back splits, but just be careful with your hips on this one. We don't want to be straining anything, and we don't want to be straining to be here, but we can get into this left hip flexor and into this right hamstring. So you slip that left knee back as best you can. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, lean a little forward, stretch into the hamstring. Inhale, slip a little back. Exhale, stretch into the hamstring. So my range here is decent. I'm 46 and I've played a lot of sports and done a few little damages and torn some hamstrings in my time. But you know, I'm not amazing in my range. So if you want to be great, you should even be able to do better than a guy like me that still does a lot of weight training. And good, gently out of there, just pull that foot in, bring that knee forward. Let's switch that over and we'll go low lunge with the left foot forward and a left twist. So right hand's on that front knee, looking over that left shoulder. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, sink into the hips. Gentle with the neck, but looking over that left shoulder. Good, coming out of there and slipping forward into that left hamstring stretch. One hand either side of that front foot now. Inhale, push the hips back gently. Exhale, try and fall along that left leg. And good, bring that foot in slightly and then slip back into that right foot and right knee into our splits position. Try and slip that front foot forward gently, gentle with the hips, keeping good support with the arms. Inhale, we can try and straighten that front knee a little. Exhale, bend from the waist, stretching through the right hip flexor, so the front of the right hip and the left hamstring. So if you're doing any kind of kicking, quite often the legs are going to end up in this position, especially Aussie rules or kicking positions in rugby union and soccer. Good to have this range. With more range, you can have better power and minimize the risk of injury. Good to have that range for running as well, of course, especially sprinting. And gently out of there. Okay, bring that mat back up to normal. And coming back to our hips, we're going to go cross-legged again and into a diagonal bend to the right. So put your left hand on your left knee and then fall towards that right hand, which is going in the direction that your right thigh bone is pointing. Let your head fold towards that right knee. Inhale, push down on the left. Exhale, sink into the right. You should be getting a nice stretch through the left side hip, left side glutes and hip, left side lower back. Gently up and diagonal to the left. So right hand on the right knee, left hand goes to direction the left thigh is pointing. Let the head drop towards the knee. Inhale, anchor yourself, pushing down on that right knee, keeping the right hip down. Exhale, fall towards that left knee. Let your head touch the knee or drop over the knee if you're good there. Gently up, and I'm going to do a bound angle pose. So soles of the feet together. This should get through your inner thighs, and it's a good chance to let your lower back rest and straighten for a sec. So we're going to have those soles of the feet together, grabbing the feet with the hands. Try and lengthen the spine. So inhale, lengthen the spine like someone's pulling a string on top of your head. Exhale, try and lower the knees a little like karate senseis. Standing on your knees, but a very light sensei. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, lower the knees. If you're doing this at home, you can call me sensei if you like. And good. Come out of there, and we're going to go wide-legged bends. So I'll just keep my feet within the screen here, but I want you to go as wide as you can with the feet, and do it this way. Go for the left foot, get both hands over there if you can. If not, just have the right hand on the left forearm and try and fall towards that left shin with your head. Inhale, straighten both legs a little. Exhale, fall along the leg. I can hear you now saying, yes, sensei. Good, gently up and nice and wide, falling to the right. So remember, we're sort of rushing through this so that I get to show you lots of stuff, and hopefully that'll help you find the ones that you need most. But we're only holding about 5 breaths, and again, if quite often the best way to approach this is to try and create permanent length change, and you will get a better change, a more permanent length change by holding those positions for longer. There's mixed research out there about that, but I strongly believe that holding those stretches for longer, and there's a lot of data out there that can back up that opinion as well, holding it for longer, like over 60 seconds, even 90 seconds, 2 minutes, especially if you've got one side tighter than the other, you really got to try and even those things up to create balance in your body. And good, gently up from there. Just a couple more. We're going to go for a supine pigeon. So lying down on the back, going to cross the right ankle onto the left thigh. Take the right hand between the legs there so we can clasp that knee. Get your head down on the floor and try and tuck your chin down so that your neck's not reaching off the floor. And then try and pull both knees towards you. Inhale, pull both knees. Exhale, sink into the hips. Try and even drag that right knee forward a little. So I'm just showing you which direction we want that to be going. Drag that right knee forward, just using your right side glutes to open up through the right side hip. Inhale, pull both knees in towards you, keeping the chin tucked down. Exhale, push that right knee forward a little to open up through that right hip. And good, gently down. So we'll try supine pigeon on the left side. Left ankle on the right thigh. Left hand goes through the loop. Clasp the knee. Get the head down. Tuck the chin down. Inhale. Pull those knees towards you. Keeping the chin tucked down. Exhale. Try and pull that left knee away from you using your left side glutes. So this one does create a little bit of tension. But we still want to be trying to relax into the stretch, relax into the hips as we exhale. And good, gently out of there. And come sitting up, we just finished with a nice forward bend. So forward fold if your spine's normal, healthy. Let your head fall along your legs. If you need to watch the lower back, keep the spine nice and long. Head and chest up, trying to just bend from the waist. And there we have it. Some lower body Ryogas to help you feel better, move better, and be better. Thank you guys.